guy alone inside. He's got the breakaway with the touch to the right. Goal! Everything you wanted from this debut. It's Brandon By. Taking a shot with the left. Goal! Isaac Frank from 25 yards out. The equalizer. Will Kidd with the touch of the goal. It's a go-ahead goal. Minneapolis City.
This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by Summit Brewing Company.
Welcome to the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club. I'm excited. I'm your host, John, and with me, as always, is our very own Harry Carey, the Nate Morales. Nate, it is hard to believe that we would have wanted to do anything but buy a plane ticket to Colorado and party with Johnny from Harpo's after our last conversation last week, but we made adult decisions. And we stayed at home, and we're bringing another show to you people.
Did you have people in high school or whoever that were like, man, I'm going to go to college in Colorado? And you're like, why? Skiing isn't that cool. And now I get it. Now it's like, if I could turn back time.
Right, yeah, I absolutely did. Or like the one kid who went to ASU, and you're like, why are you going to Arizona for college? And then you're like, well,
I see the party videos.
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah. No, I totally get it, man.
Awesome stuff going on this week. We have a hit in our mailbag. Another hit from our official, unofficial, official content coordinator, Bryn. He's writing in, and we continue our management series. I don't know if people noticed this, but this is number 2 in our series of shows where we're going to be talking to owners and management from across the country, and it will continue until our very special 100th episode. And tonight we welcome a very special guest joining us all the way from not your Kansas, John, but our Kansas, Arkansas. We're going to bring another one of the good ones in of amateur soccer, Jonathan Wardlaw from Little Rock. John, let's just hit the gas and get going. Let's just do this. Let's get into it.
All right. So mailbag, right?
Mailbag. He could not let Jake from Toledo get away with asking a question without following up with another one on his own. So we have another one from Bryn in our mailbag, and he writes, I usually don't follow high school soccer too closely, but this year, my old high school, this is Bryn's old high school, St. Paul Central, has made the tournament for the first time in 15 years, so he is pretty pumped.
Congratulations, St. Paul Central.
And Bryn.
And Bryn, yeah.
Not sure if the new pod will come out in time to make this question relevant. You know who else went to St. Paul Central? Is Twinkie Jiggles from the current morning show. Anyway, not sure if this new pod will come out in time to make this question relevant, but
Hold on. That comment alone is why I like you, Nate, because
I just know things.
You just know shit that no one cares about.
Hey, my friend Sean McPherson also went to Central. Anyway, so Bryn wants to know, who are our picks to win the 1A and 2A boys MSHSL state tournament? Bryn is going with Stillwater in 2A and Blake in 1A. He says, my picks are more gut choices than deeply researched ones. I know you're watching a shit ton of college soccer, John. He's talking to you. I honestly don't know how you watch that many games per week, but have you been able to catch any high school games? Any up-and-coming players on City's radar? Here we go. Let's answer this question.
Okay, Bryn, once again, thank you so much for being a curator of content on our humble show here. Typically, I don't watch a ton of high school soccer in the grand scheme of soccer ranks because we just don't have too many slots for players that have kind of yet to be aged into that sweet spot that we provide a home for. But yes, I have checked out a few games. I've taken in a De La Salle match to support Coach Pribble. I caught a Lakeville North game to see assistant coach Trey Benhart do his thing. I also checked in on Totino Grace, as well as North St. Paul under the helm of one Justin Oliver, to kind of name a few games.
So that's something crazy, first of all, that we don't point out, is that our guys from City go on over the course of the year. Trey's coaching in Lakeville, and Justin's coaching in North St. Paul?
Yep, and there's Martin Brown Jr. is assistant coach at De La Salle.
Yeah.
There's quite a few guys that
We should give them some props a little more often.
I mean, maybe we'll do a coach's.
We do a lot of
segment or
city at
something.
school, but we don't do like adults. City at their job.
Yeah, we're gonna check in on Nick Hutton selling shit.
Basically.
Or Tim Wills doing finance.
I ran into Nick Hutton at Starbucks, and we both hate our professional lives.
So the talent the talent that we monitor from a high school ranks usually comes through us from the club coaches, so not necessarily from the high school coaches. So when we reach out to these club coaches, they let us know the types of players that we should be looking at that are aging into our system. So I'm not out necessarily trolling for like 15-year-olds, but I'm interested in high school soccer because I want to see what the 17, 18-year-olds are doing, so that we can keep them on our radar when they go into college, so we can get them prepared. Because as people know, we've had plenty of high school players come through our ranks before we had the U23 team, but now even more so that we have the U23 team.
Well, one other thing too on that, John, is like it's easier for you to have a few sources of information that can kind of summarize stuff for you and say here are my 5 guys, because it's literally impossible to watch a good number of high school soccer games.
I mean, even if you had the programs identified that you'd want to pay attention to, that's still like 20 plus, right?
Yeah.
Across the entire state. And there's no way I'm going to be able to get that. They don't stream their games online, so I physically have to go to them. So it's different, right?
Yep.
But to kind of get into the second part of the question here, I don't really have a dog in the hunt here when it comes to who's going to win the state titles, so definitely can't answer that question. But I do feel Totino Grace, from what I saw, has some real next-level talent, which puts me into the next part of your question, Bryn. The one player that I have on my radar, or we collectively, is Herbert Endeli from the aforementioned Totino Grace. He is like a dynamic striker who's committed to the University of Indiana, and he's a once-in-a-generation type finisher out of high school. So he's definitely one that we're keeping our eye on. And although we have yet to kind of get officially in contact with him in particular to get him in the mix with the Crows, we have reached out, and we're going to kind of wait until his high school season's over, which will be in short order here soon, before we start kind of giving him the pitch on why would be a good spot for him. So hopefully that answers your question.
John, I don't follow the high school soccer scene at all.
Well, why would you?
I don't even know what the difference between 2A and 1A are. But
I don't either.
But I do know that Totino Grace is named after Totino's Pizza.
Come on. No way.
Fucking Google it, dude.
What? So is he like an alumni or what?
Pizza Roll Grace. Yeah, man, I had to look, because someone told me that, and I was like, no way, just like you. And it turns out that the Totino couple, Jim and Rose, they donated
They bought a high school.
They basically bought a high school. And so in 1980, they donated so much money that they renamed the high school Totino Grace. And Grace is actually
a lie.
Yeah, Grace is actually a bishop. You should go to Wikipedia. I swear to God. I swear to Totino. But anyway, maybe once my kid grows up and starts competing at the high school level, I'll start following more closely. But I'll tell you what, I do know that Central is playing tonight in St. Cloud. A friend of the family's kid is on the team, and I love it when a Minneapolis or a St. Paul city team makes the tournament, because all that diversity and the different play style can really fuck up some suburban white boys. It just blows their minds. So good luck to young Micah and the Central squad. I hope they won tonight. Speaking of suburban white boys, though, I also know that Stillwater is a perennial powerhouse. And if I were a true bullshitter, John, I would say I agree with Bryn that Stillwater has the size of the humans They've got huge humans on that team, and they've got the on-field organization to take that title. So there's your answer, Bryn. I agree with you on Stillwater. Go Central.
Why you don't agree with him on Stillwater?
You guys got to look up Totino Grace. I'm telling you, it's named after the pizza.
We're gonna listen to this show in the archives in like 5 years when Olin's playing high school soccer, and we're gonna ask you again if you still think that Stillwater and their large humans are gonna win the state title.
That was legitimate.
Get out of here, dude.
That's legitimate analysis.
Oh,
all
shit.
right. So
I've talked in the past about how much fun I had at the owners meeting in New Orleans last year, but outside of all of the fun that I may or may not remember, I did meet some really cool people that are in the game. And today's guest is one of the good ones who I did have a chance to meet and speak at length with about the ups and downs of fourth-tier soccer. And we'll for sure learn more about a few things that go down in Middle America here shortly. But we're pleased to welcome Jonathan Wardlaw, the owner of Little Rock Rangers. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us. How are things in Arkansas?
Well, they're good. They're good. They're, as we kind of mentioned off air earlier, we're just kind of going through the gearing up for the 2019 season, getting uniform design concepts done, and you're starting to get the players are starting to touch base and things like that. So it's the owners meetings are getting planned. So the buzz is starting back up. So it's getting exciting around here.
nice.
Starting to get the itch again, right?
Yeah.
So before we start with like the hard-hitting journalism questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what your background in the game is, and what in God's name made you want to become an owner of a lower division soccer team?
Yeah, I ask myself that every day, I think. But I guess a brief history. Arkansas has never really been a hotbed for soccer. And, I'm a relatively small guy. So, growing up in the mouth-breathing traditional sports South, I wasn't going to play basketball or football or anything like that. So, I did a lot of skateboarding and soccer playing growing up. And, I guess my age group, I'm 43. So my age group and I guess younger were kind of the first soccer kids that, that kind of started playing more competitive travel soccer. And, we had, as I got to be, in high school, our club team had gotten better and we were going out of state and playing tournaments, but we would have success in the state, but then, we'd go short distances like to Memphis and we'd get beat pretty bad. So, we just kind of accepted it as that's what it was. Well, you flash forward 30 years and I have a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they're both in the classic, competitive soccer. And it's the same thing that it was 30 years ago when I was playing. So, I was like, something's got to change. And so a bunch of us dads are just sitting around complaining at practices and this and that, trying to solve the world's problems. And, we're just, one of the things we came up with was that, just some of these kids, we lose a lot of the 9 and 12-year-olds to the more traditional sports at about that age. And, the Razorbacks are pretty much the professional sports franchise of the entire state. So, there's not a men's Razorback soccer program. So, we were like, maybe we should come up with some sort of a semi-pro, minor league soccer program that these kids maybe could aspire to. And, we're not going to keep every kid in the sport, but if we could keep a handful in, that's, a small victory.
Yeah, you're just trying to be some role models.
Yeah, so anyway, I was just kind of the idiot, I guess, that took the wheel and
raise your hand.
Yeah, so here I am, talking to guys in Minneapolis.
That's right. I've been in Northwest Arkansas a couple times for work, of course, because of Walmart.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, man. It's a lot like Minneapolis. It's just people have a different accent. People,
Yeah.
people might go to church more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
otherwise,
I
there's a
don't
lot
know.
of real trendy. Look, like the bar scene is really cool down there. A lot of good cocktail bars. A lot of good whiskey bars. It's fun.
Yeah, it depends on where you go. That whole part of the state is really it's different, and I guess the business model or whatever you want to call it, stranglehold that Walmart has on the world. I don't know if you're aware of it, but if Walmart sells your product in any of their stores, you physically have to have a rep from your company
Living down there. Yep.
living in Bentonville so that you're, at their beck and call. So it's pretty cool that there's people from all over the world now living in this small little area up there. So it is like you said. I mean, you're stuck up in the hills, and it's the scenery is really pretty, but at the same time, it's pretty advanced as far as just what they have to offer.
Yeah. So we know from talking to owners and players from around the country over the last couple years that soccer is a little different everywhere you go. The culture is a little bit different. The scene is a little bit different. And like you mentioned, you're right in the middle of SEC country. College football is really king down there with the Razorbacks and Pig Suey and all that. But
Right.
what is the soccer scene like down there?
Well, there really wasn't a scene until we got started, and I had absolutely no idea what I was going into.
Like all of us,
I
right?
really did. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't. That first game, I say this all the time, and it's kind of corny, but I mean, I'll literally, because we have a deer in our crest, but I mean, I was a deer in headlights for that whole, basically the first owners meeting I went to, all the way until our first game. And when we joined the league, Memphis was starting a team as well. And so I met those guys at the owners meeting and just said, hey, we're right down the road from each other. We're, oddly enough, we're in different conferences, so we'll never play each other. So we need to come up with a little, just a little cup that we can play for preseason every year. So, because I don't know if you're aware or not, they're an hour and 45 minutes away from us, and they basically drew the line of the conferences right in between us. So it's crazy. But anyway, so we came up with this little cup that we could play, and basically the first year we were just going to iron out kinks on each other.
Just kind of trial and error, really.
Yeah, the first home game for each of us. And leading up to that game, I had absolutely, no clue what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to have 50 people or, 500. In my head, I was hoping for, 500 to 750 people show up. I was like, the cost of our stadium and everything on my budget, I was like, if I can hit that number consistently with, throughout the season, this thing will stay afloat. So, anyway, I reached out to food trucks and to everything. I was just like, I got to create some sort of a draw just to get people.
Yeah, the environment needs to be able to, bring people in once, but then have to be fun enough to keep people coming back, even if the soccer might not be that great.
Right, and I don't know how familiar you are with our whole little setup, but I mean, we play in this massive stadium that's right in the middle of Little Rock. It's got a huge parking lot, so the Razorbacks play there once a year. It seats like 55,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's got a huge parking lot. This big golf course surrounds it, so it's just this big park atmosphere. And so anyway, I was like, I've just got to get people here, and then hopefully they, buy the $10 ticket and come in, and we have a good time. So leading up to that game, I had my parents working the ticket window because you have all these crazy volunteers that reaching out to you. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna let someone I don't know handle the cash and everything. So I put my parents in there, and anyway, I printed like 1,000 paper tickets. We just used business cards, just same day business cards from Staples, and used those for our game day tickets. And so I printed 1,000 of those, and the media started showing up, and they wanted to report live from, different spots outside. So I was yeah, it was nuts. And none of them told me they were coming. They just all of a sudden showed up. So I'm getting called and pulled from all these different directions because they're wanting to report like live. We're going to be on air at 5:26 for the sports segment or whatever. And so I have to be there. And my phone starts blowing up and I can't answer it. So I finally get done with all that and I look down and my mom had just blown me up a ton of times. So I called her back and she's like, "Hey, we're out of tickets."
What?
And I was like, "You're kidding me." And she was like, "No." So I had to call my 17-year-old nephew to fly to the stadium, and he stands at the gate where they're accepting tickets, and he's grabbing stacks of them and running them back to the ticket window.
Reselling them.
Yeah.
So so we're recycling tickets. So that first game, I took photos and got with the stadium the Monday after and was getting like section, how many people that each section can hold. And we basically came up with, there was 4,000 to 5,000 people at that game.
Wow, that's incredible.
And we had sold no season tickets. So basically everybody bought that $10 ticket. And so, I had all of this cash at the end of the night, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like a drug dealer."
How could you have anticipated a crowd like that? Especially since, to your own admission, it's not a huge soccer town.
No. These people just came out of nowhere. It was so bizarre, And so, we went through the whole season and had about 3,000 people a game. And, it's I've heard you kind of go through that little freshman year thing where you get a honeymoon where people just show up and start kind of kicking the tires.
Yeah,
and,
see what this thing is all about and all that.
Yeah, and, it's not for everybody. So, we've kind of leveled out, and we get about 2,500 to about 2,500.
That is madness.
On average to our games, so.
And that's...
we just had no idea that these people were in the city.
Yeah. What a surprise. That's fortuitous for you.
Yeah. I wish I could say I, studied it and was some sort of mad genius on figuring this thing out. But no, I've just been really lucky.
So we've talked at length when we met about how, the ins and outs of building a team. And, we also talked about how our challenges are different from your challenges. But, one of the things that I'm interested in learning about a little bit more is, how, you build your roster for your team. We're a little bit unique. Actually, we're very unique, being that we only take Minnesota-based players. But what does your process look like for when you and your coaches are looking to put a team together?
Yeah, so right here in our area, there's basically one D1 college, and it's about 30 minutes away from Little Rock. And they're the only D1 men's program in the state. So obviously we have a good relationship with the coach there. And then there's a bunch of other smaller schools right around that are either D3 or NAIA. So we've got a lot of international players, but most of them are from schools here. So, we're quasi local, if that makes sense. So last year we brought in two guys. We housed two guys, our goalkeeper and one guy that came from year one. And he's a unique story. We've got this kid from Brazil, from Rio, Brazil, who goes to school at Seton Hall up, right outside New York City. And this coming summer, I would assume he's coming back since we've made the U.S. Open Cup this year. But this will be his fourth year to come and spend his summer in Little Rock, Arkansas. With he's playing for D1 Seton Hall in New York City, basically, and he could go home and to Rio to play over the summer if he wanted to, and he chooses to come play for us, which, that's kind of my Chamber of Commerce sales pitch down here, But he and our goalkeeper were the only two guys we housed this past year. So, they're either local kids that have gone off and are playing college somewhere outside the state, and then they come home for the summer, or they're guys that are in local colleges here and are just going to stay through the summer and play for us.
So it is pretty similar to what we have. We don't have a Division I program in our state at all, and for men. So like the University of Minnesota has a club team, but we have a very rich, very competitive Division III conference in the MIAC in Minnesota, and there's a lot of Division I talent that chooses to stay home. Or what we've seen is a lot of guys who go away to smaller Division I schools like Bradley or Northern or Eastern Michigan or the Illinois schools, and then they end up coming back to play Division III because the academics are so good, and they get to come back home. So it does sound fairly familiar. So, as we also know, running an organization it's a lot of work, and there's a ton of challenges. And toss in the challenge of operating in a minor league soccer where it's either the NPSL or there's something else.
Yeah.
It can really drive you nuts. Also, throw in on top of that, you guys have a WPSL team and a youth academy, and suddenly this is
so
like
much stuff.
It's a full-time job, right? So
So
that's so much stuff for consider you were just like, we just wanted to give our kids a role model show them what some higher league soccer looks like.
So how has your club grown to accommodate that bigger vision, and what are the challenges of overcoming that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Well, so I'm sure you guys can relate to how small the soccer world is and how supportive the soccer world is. So, there is a soccer world here. It's just smaller. And once news got out that I was starting this thing, people did start reaching out to me, and they were like, "Look, I don't want any money. I don't want anything. I just want to be a part. Just give me a role." So I've been very lucky and fortunate to have these people. I mean, our head coach has not, he's gotten paid very minimal, but he puts in the time. He goes and recruits these players. I really don't get into the player part of it. I honestly, I don't know enough, and I don't have the time to. I deal with the social media part, the business growth. I try to, go out and get whatever sponsorships I can. But, I like the designing of the uniforms. I like that fun stuff. And, I'll leave the technical and the soccer stuff to the coach. And we've been,
that is
once again, I've been lucky. We've got an international player that married a local girl, and he's from Nova Scotia, and he played over in Europe forever, and then he ended up coming back here and playing MLS at the Galaxy, and then retiring at Chivas USA. And once he retired, his wife, they had then gotten married. She went to school at USC. And they had gotten married at that time, and she said, "Okay, we're going home now." And he was like, "Okay, where's that?" So they ended up, moving back here. And once I found out he was here, I was like, "Well, I got to figure out how to get this guy involved." So I just blindly reached out to the guy, and we've become really good friends, and we're basically halvesies in the youth program. It's set up as a completely separate entity. It kind of shares the same name, but it's a completely separate entity that we're 50-50 in, and so he's co-owner of it, and he's basically the soccer guy, and I'm everything else.
So quick, let's talk about this women's squad, because it's not only you've got the youth academy like you mentioned, you've got this squad playing in the WPSL. What is it like running two programs essentially and overseeing two programs? And what are some unique challenges and rewards that you get on this WPSL side of things that you don't get out of the men's squad?
Well, after our first season, or really not even after, during our first season, people were coming up to me left and right. They were like, when are you going to do a women's team? When are you going to do a women's team? I was
Just like, whoa, chill out. We just started this.
I was like, my head is still spinning. I hadn't even, thought about that. So I looked into it a little bit, and it's relatively, at least, in comparison to the NPSL, it's really pretty inexpensive to join, and all of the I'll take that back. There's three D1 women's schools here, and then you've got the D3 and the NAIA schools as well. So the player pool is here, or so I thought. And so the first year we talked to all the local schools and got these girls to stay and play, and I housed a bunch of them, and was hoping that that we'd have some decent. I wasn't expecting men's size crowds, but I was hoping for some decent sized crowds. Man, it was. If you're thinking of doing it, you've got to do it for growth of the sport. Do not look at it as a financial thing, or at least trying to make money, because you just can't. And it's been a struggle, to be honest. It's completely different, and being a male, I'm trying to I guess choose my words correctly here, because you're just dealing with different personalities. I mean, you're dealing with different DNA. It's just the guys come in and they get in the locker room and they start goofing off, and everything kind of goes out the door. They're all just focused on winning that game. And from my experience, and we had two female coaches, and they both, this came from them. The women don't. It's more of a. It's not really. I'm like I said, I'm trying to choose my words wisely here. It's not a. It's more of a social thing, but I mean, they're still competitors, but they carry a lot of it. So there's just a lot. The locker room can just get weird, I guess, and it has been a struggle, because I can't be in there. I can't go in there, and so you don't know what the coach is saying. It's been tough.
Yeah,
trying to figure out the whole dynamic of it.
Well, that was kind of. I mean, that's kind of the root of the question. Is there's so many different variables operating. Not only the women's squad, but the youth academy and the men's team. It's very surprising how quickly you've grown over the last, 3 years already. It's just it feels like, you're due a couple knocks once in a while.
Yeah, and you have to. I mean, my advice to anyone out there: if you do if you're a male like I am, and you're the general manager, you definitely need to have someone other than just the coach. You need basically a female general manager, I guess I should say, that kind of oversees that whole process. Because like I said, I can't go into the locker room. I can't, there's just so many things that you don't really think about. And it's not like I can go up and put my arm around one of these players and just be like, hey, how are things going? Because I'm a 44-year-old dude, and they're just not going to open up to me like they would maybe a female general manager or someone more maybe their age that they can relate to. So that's been some of the struggles, and we're still trying to figure out 2019. I mean, both our 2017 season and our 2018 season both were not successful at all because we just, they finally started playing better, and we would pick up some wins, but it was always 2 games left in the season. So
right.
I'm still just trying to figure out the best solution for that, and I don't know if it's building a women's program that feeds off of a youth club that the youth club basically feeds it as a kind of reunion team when you have girls that go off to college and then they come home and play. But our youth programs aren't there yet. Mm-hmm. We're not producing enough of that talent yet.
Well, I think before you mentioned kind of started talking about how things are going on in the field, but before we get into that, I think, as you know, John and I are ad guys, and Dan Budeman is also an advertising guy. And we've talked on the show a number of times about how super sweet your club's design is. And we pointed out to your fan base some of your cool merch. So I want to talk about your crest first. You've got you got the 2 deer, you've got the pine trees. We definitely appreciate how different it is from, all the generic FC crests that we see. Can you explain the significance and the symbolism on your crest to us a little bit?
Yeah. So I guess my background, I have a landscape architecture degree, so I have somewhat of a, artistic graphic design background, but, nothing structure in marketing or anything like that where I'm trying to sell a brand. But I knew
that's okay.
We
won't hold it against you.
Yeah.
I just, I knew going into this that I needed to, create some merchandise that people here, even if they weren't soccer fans, they could relate to. So obviously, you just drift to the local, quote unquote local things that's going on. So I mean, we're in Arkansas, so there's a lot of hunting and there's a lot of nature, and so I just just tried to come up with something along those lines. And the white-tailed deer is our state mammal, and the pine tree, the conifer, is basically our state tree. So I just wanted to incorporate those, and there's a little bit of symbolism in as far as the reflective, the way the deers are kind of reflecting off of each other. Little Rock is kind of split into 2 metropolitan areas. There's Little Rock and North Little Rock, and the Arkansas River runs through, runs right through, and basically divides the city. So, there's a little bit of, both of the communities on either side are basically the same size. Little Rock may be a little bit bigger, but the North Little Rock side is kind of a little bit more sprawling. And, the north side of the river, I guess I should say. And so, and then you have Fayetteville even up there on the north side of the river. So, it's just kind of, we thought that doing the mirrored deers like that kind of mirrored the way that the river divided the state into kind of 2 equal parts. We just kind of got a little, I don't know, we may have thought too much into it, but we were just having fun when we were doing that.
You guys did the design yourself, or did you hire, did you get lucky and find someone? Or?
No, my wife and I did it over coffee one Saturday morning.
Oh, just grab some paper and a couple pencils and see what you can come up with and throw it on the computer.
I mean, I've got all the programs, and I actually drew the original one in CAD. So
oh wow.
Yeah, so it all kind of it grew really quickly there. We didn't really have anything in mind. And then I went to the famous Chattanooga, New York Cosmos NPSL championship game, and all 20,000 of us that were there, and after that game, I was like, all right, if they can do it in Chattanooga, I can. I'm not going to get 20,000 people to my games, but if they can do it there, I can create something and do it here because they're in football country too. So anyway, after we did that, came back and we just designed a crest, started, opened the social media accounts, and
So
you know,
do you
just
guys
It's looking cool.
So do you guys also design all your merchandise as well, or do you have help with that?
Yeah, so I've got after we got going and everything, I had a younger graphic design artist reach out to me who works for a local ad firm here. He's in his early 30s, and he's a former soccer player. He played for the D1 school here in it's University of Central Arkansas, and he reached out to me and just said, "Hey, I've got I'm a graphic designer here, and anything you need help with, I'd be happy to, So we hit it off, and so now I'll come up with ideas of what I want to do. Like, the last year's shirt, we had that wire-framed deer head type design. I was like,
that shirt's
I'll
sweet.
just go out. I'll go out and just Google Google stuff and find some concepts that I like, and then he does the good part and turns it into a brandable thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's basically just he and I that come up with these ideas, and yeah.
So
and
fun.
after our success, our first season, I actually just I had a hard time. You guys can relate on the merchandise part. Your inventory. You don't want to be stuck with a buttload of jerseys or hats or whatever else at the end of the season, and
It's hard to find that balance between running out of it as fast as you can print it.
So I had a hard time finding just screen printers that could print leading up to games and deliver on time. So I went out and just bought my own screen printing equipment and basically taught myself how to do that. So I basically rip all our shirts out. Here I've got a little workshop down in the back of my house, so I do all of our t-shirts here.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Well, now that I'm hearing that, I expect something to make its way to Minneapolis in December.
Say it.
Yeah. Send an order, man. I'll bring you all kinds of goodies.
All right.
Print my name on the back of the shirt. All right, so let's talk turkey now. In the past, like you mentioned, and if you look at the numbers, you guys didn't have massive success on the field, but you definitely improved since 2016, your first year, where you came in 7th place in your conference, and then made a big leap into 3rd place in 2017, and then this past year, just like gangbusters. So after a rocky road coming out of the preseason this year, I'll throw some stats out there that I don't know if you've actually compiled them and thought about them the way I did. But you lost So you lost 3 of your first 5 matches until you caught the heater of all heaters, and then went 10-2 in your final 12 games. So in that time frame, you scored 25 goals and gave up 6, and that included a stretch of 6 shutouts. What the hell did you put in the water there, man?
Like you turned the season around on a dime there.
Yeah, I mean, you eventually ran into the buzzsaw that was Miami FC, but outside of that, like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, so first year, you can just basically throw that out the window. I mean, everybody involved in the organization, we were just running around, just trying to keep our head above water. Going into 2017, we put more thought into it, but we still, we didn't have any kind of relationship with the local. Well, we did with the one college, but with all the others, we still didn't just fully have the trust that, we were going to take care of their players over the summer and things like that.
I heard that.
So, yeah. And then, and we finished, it seems like, I can't remember exactly, but it seems like we finished quite a bit of, I know we finished 2016 on the road, and oddly enough, we went on a huge winning streak there. But 2017, it seemed like we had some tough games on the road to end the season. I know we ended the regular season at Tulsa and lost, and turned around and had to go right back up there on a Wednesday for the playoff game. And that we were just tired and done at that point. So this year, when I was making the schedule, I just decided that we would try to flip it a little bit, and let's go on the road early, and get some of these tougher road games, the Tulsa and the Wichita. Try to get them, on the road early. We're not going to have our, great college guys available at the same time, but they aren't either. So, anyway, I just decided to flip it and just see what would happen. So we went on the road early, and we did. We lost, but the Wichita game was really close. It was tied all the way up until the 89th minute, and they tapped in a goal there in the 90th, basically, and beat us 2-1. So that game really was a tie as far as I was concerned. And then we finished basically the rest of the stuff at home. We sprinkled in the other away games, but we just started gelling, and we had a great chemistry. The team that we had this past year, I mean, it was fun from the very first game. There was no one, you know how it is. The locker room can take one person to turn that locker room sour, and we didn't have that this year. It was an awesome experience.
We call that the brotherhood here in
Yeah,
Minnesota.
the brotherhood is real.
I mean, we had the same thing. In our first year of existence playing in the Premier League of America, we finished a disappointing third place and missed the playoffs in our conference. And then last year, we thought that we had on paper the team that would win the league, and we built the team for our old league, and we finished another disappointing third. But then last year, we, like you said, you kind of retrospectively look at what didn't work, and then you try to change the little things, and then we ended up going undefeated, and the rest is history, I guess. So I totally get it, man. So
real
outside,
quick, yeah. John, real quick before we jump into this, you mentioned all the teams when you talk about go to Tulsa, you go to Wichita. Your conference, the Heartland Conference, is geographically huge.
Yeah.
How did you plan for travel expenses, or how did you end up dealing with traveling from basically the middle of Arkansas all the way over to Tulsa, all the way into Wichita, Kansas, up into Missouri? Like it's a large 4-state region there between Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma.
Yeah, it is. Wichita's brutal, and we added St. Louis, which is basically the same distance as Wichita is. I mean, that's a 6-hour.
That's another planet.
Both of those are 6-hour trips, and Tulsa's 4, a little over 4. Our shortest trip is to Northwest Arkansas, which is 2.5 hours.
That's for Ozark FC?
Yeah. But we got, fortunately, we got gifted a bus. We've got a 36-passenger bus. Now it's an old,
You got a mega bus? Shit, man.
It's an old beater, and the air conditioner is kind of touch and go, but which in the South can be pretty brutal. But, we just stay hydrated on the bus, and it's I think that's one of those things too that. Yeah, it sucks right now for those guys, and they bitch about it. But it's one of those things. When they get to be my age, they'll look back at it, and that's part of the, it's gonna be part of the memory. They're gonna laugh about it. You remember that time it was so hot, we were stuck to the seat, stuff like that. So
see, we make fun of the only team in our conference that has a bus, but we all envy the bus.
Yeah, man, if we could roll up in that mega bus, that'd be sweet.
Let me. Ours is definitely a very blue collar bus. We're not. That we probably would be in better shape if we just rented 2 15-passenger vans. But
with some solid AC.
Yeah, but anyway, it is what it is.
We joke that the team that I won't name the team out of respect, but I think everyone listening from our end knows who I'm talking about. We joke because they came down here and we beat them 5-0 and sent them on their way. That the Wi-Fi must have busted on the way to the stadium because they weren't playing very well. So we talked a little bit about the run that you guys went on, and obviously it was one for the record books, but outside of the running into the professional buzzsaw of Miami FC in the playoffs, what was the most memorable moment for you this past season?
It was probably, it'd have to be the Laredo trip. Well, it was that whole stretch. So we played, I don't know how familiar you are with that stretch of ours, but we beat Tulsa and Little Rock on a Wednesday night. We had Wichita won as well. So, and they were first place. So they hosted us on Saturday night. So we went to Wichita and went through, we won in penalties. So, and they start their game up there at 7:30. So gosh, it was 11:30 or so before we were even getting out of the locker room.
Oh,
and,
man.
yeah. And so the thing is, back when the AGM or the owners meeting is going on, these people are throwing out all of these different, playoff scenarios and whatever, and you're voting on them. You're like, yeah, whatever. If I get there, I'll worry about it then. So you vote one way or the other.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I had voted to, or agreed to, didn't make a big deal about it, but the regional semifinal, the Laredo game, was to be on a Tuesday night. So we had to be from Wichita on, basically midnight on Saturday night. We had to be in Laredo, which is a 12-hour drive from Little Rock in the completely opposite direction, by Tuesday. And realistically, we wanted to get there on Monday so that, we could sleep there and wake up Tuesday there. So, Sunday is shot because everything is closed. You can't, I couldn't plan or do anything. So, I had to wake up Monday morning and immediately just start calling charter bus places because there's no way we were taking our bus 12 hours.
The mega bus was not making it.
Yeah. The Rangers bus was not making that trip. So, so anyway, so that was just such a fiasco, just getting down there, but we did. And that game goes, into extra time, and we end up winning that one in extra time. We didn't go to penalties, but I guess my most memorable part, though, was being, there's a handful of us that made the trip down there to watch it. And, after we won and all the players take off and start yelling at each other on the bench and, jumping, doing their thing over there, I'm up in the stands and I see our goalkeeper, Waleed, and he and I had a pretty good relationship. And he's pointing at me from the field and walking towards me. And, he's born in Morocco, but his parents are Moroccan, but he's Spanish. He was born in Spain. And so I make my way to him, jump over the fence that, surrounds the field and everything, and get to him. And, we have this big hug and everything. And he said, "I'm so sorry, but you must take me to Miami now." And so, so that kind of just will always, he knew the struggles that I was going through, like, oh my gosh, now I got to get these guys to Miami by Friday, because he knew how much of a struggle it was getting them to Laredo by Tuesday. So anyway, that was a little moment, I guess, that we shared that, kind of really stuck. And then, when we got to Miami, we were so out of gas. Flying out of Little Rock was basically impossible, and there was no way we were all of us getting on one plane. So we're all leaving on Thursday, and everybody's going in different directions. Some are connecting in Dallas, some are connecting in Charlotte and Atlanta, and all these places to get down to Miami. Wow. And I'm the guy in charge. I'm in charge of all these college kids. So
you flew private, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I took the Rangers bus.
Yeah, right.
No, so I've got all these kids. I'm like, when you get to Dallas, shoot me a text and let me. So, I'm dealing with all that, and we get there, and I could just tell. You could tell the guys were just out of gas. I mean, both games
Right,
going to
yeah.
extra time, and they knew that we were going into a professional team, and they. And then the first 8 or 9 minutes of the game, our big offensive threat goes down with a hamstring injury. So it was,
The air kind of came out of the balloon.
Yeah, the magic was over. So, but gosh, if you had told me that we were going to finish in the top 8, in our 3rd season of existence, I mean, we weren't even a club team or anything. I mean, we just built this from zero in 2016. So, if you'd told me that we'd be here, I would have, never have believed it. So now we've just got to, I don't expect us to have the same results this year. I mean, you got to be realistic. You're not going to get the same guys back, and it's still D4 soccer.
Right,
so,
exactly. The fourth, the infamous 4th tier.
Yeah, so that door is revolving and everything, but we just got to keep putting a quality product out there on the field and stay competitive, and just keep going.
Well, now is the time of the show where we go through the world famous Lupient Automotive Speed Round.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy.
the average human spends the average human spends on average 37,940 hours in their car. So why would you ever drive an uncomfortable beater? We have just the folks for you to help you out with that, to put your butt in a better seat. Head on down to Golden Valley and check out the inventory, or go online to lupient.com for all things car. Okay, Jonathan, so here's how things work. 10 questions. I cannot go to the next question until you answer, so please respect the fact that it's called the speed round and not take forever. But I ask everybody, do you need... What's that?
I was just going to say, is my question, or does my answer have to be accurate, or do I just have to answer it?
Just answer.
You just have to answer.
Okay.
I mean, you can try, but definitely don't take 5 minutes per question here.
Sure. Sure.
So before I ask everyone beforehand, do you need to stretch? Do you want to get another beer or another bourbon, or are we good to go?
No, we're good. Let's go.
All right. Question number 1. What is the name of this famous Oscar-winning actor turned farmers insurance spokesperson?
Ooh, I know who that is. Dude with a real deep voice, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can't remember. He was on that military drama on TV. I remember seeing. Am I just supposed to make up a name?
I mean, at this point, if you don't know it, just toss something out there and hope you strike some Little Rock Ranger gold there.
I want to say he's even got like a middle initial in there that he goes by.
Oh, there's initials.
There's initials, yep.
Yeah. J.M. Williams. Who knows?
I mean, you're not far off. It's J.K. Simmons, but the J.K. stands for Jonathan Kimball Simmons. Question number 2. This Scottish word loosely translates to the Watcher of the Hill.
Oof. Watcher of the Hill. Man, I don't know this one either. I don't even know any Scottish.
As soon as I tell you the answer, it's gonna make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and we're the Rangers, ironically.
Right.
I'm trying to think back to my, watching Braveheart. channel my inner William Wallace. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, so I'll give you a pass on that one. The answer is Wardlaw. So if you're following along,
Oh.
it's Jonathan Kimball Simmons and
Okay.
yeah. So
Wardlaw. Okay.
yeah. So basically, we do this every time we do the speed round, and no one's ever figured out that we do the person's first name, last name in our two questions.
Okay. Wow.
So,
okay.
So number 3, what's the first great soccer moment that you remember?
That I guess that I witnessed would be, gosh, I guess it would be maybe Maradona's. I mean, it's kind of infamous, but I guess it was Maradona's Hand of God.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of memorable. Whether it's good or bad, but that's one that really kind of is burned in my head. I just remember seeing it, being like, as a player, I guess we all kind of are like, you do what you got to do to win. But at the same time, he blatantly cheated. So,
if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right?
Yeah. So.
All right, so number 4, the loblolly pine is the official state tree of Arkansas. And now knowing that you're a landscape architect, what is your second favorite tree?
Well, let's see. I really like a Leland cypress. You know what a Leland cypress is?
I don't, but I'm gonna have to look it up.
Okay.
The Leland cypress. All right, good answer.
It's a fellow evergreen tree. It stays green year round. So.
Nice. Well, being here in the Great North, maybe I'll have to.
Oh, it's like an Edward Scissorhands tree.
Oh, nice, nice. All right, so number 5, we asked this of all of our guests. If you were stranded on a desert island and could have one condiment for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, mustard.
Mustard.
Weird. Gross.
Like standard yellow or like a specific?
Yeah. No, just plain old mustard.
Nice. Well, we always. What's that?
I was just gonna say I think I could stay hydrated on that.
We always say there are no wrong answers, but if it was sweet relish, it would have been a wrong answer.
Yeah, our goalkeeper coach aggressively immediately said sweet relish, and that is like our benchmark of weird. So
yeah. I don't even think of that as a condiment, but I guess it is.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, so number 6. In the ad drop for the speed round, I mentioned how many hours on average a human will sit in their car. Within 100, how many hours was it?
It's like 37,000. I want to say it was like 37,700 and something, right?
You're so close.
That's so good. I can't
so good. Yeah, it was 37,945. So I'll give that one. I'll give that one to you.
Okay.
So all right. So what's harder to do? Hit a left-footed long ball or throw a left-handed pass?
Well, I'm left-handed and left-footed.
All right, so let's flip it. Right-handed long ball and a right-handed pass.
Oh, definitely a right-handed pass. I can't throw right-handed to save my life.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because when right before we brought you onto the show, we were talking through our notes and we were like, is that a good question? And I was like, what if he's left-handed?
We were ready for it,
and it literally happened.
Yeah, I'm an extreme lefty, so I can use my right foot a little bit.
Oh, I was gonna say, what does that even mean? Can't even brush my teeth right-handed.
It means you have a kickstand, is what you're saying.
Right, exactly.
All right, so number 8. Who was the one person in soccer that you looked up to or that provided you with like a unique perspective that really stays with you today?
I guess kind of, being in that era, it was kind of Maradona, just because of, he was a small guy like me. And I think I even read somewhere, like he wore No, I think I read that he like crammed his foot in it, but like he would play in like size 5 or size 6 shoes, just to have just such a close touch with the ball, I guess. But anyway, us small people kind of stick together. So
It's so funny. That's why all soccer players have crooked toes when they stop playing, because you always try to cram your foot into that smaller
Right.
cleat.
yeah, but I mean, like a size 5, that's like crazy small.
Yeah, that's like doll feet. All right, so number 9. Everybody gets one of these. It's a would you rather question. So, would you rather begin every sentence with "Hey, idiot," or end every sentence with "Haha, just kidding"?
Oof. Wish I could have used my pass on this one. I'm a nice guy, so I would never start with "Hey, idiot," but at the same time, I'm just never going to say "Ha, kidding." So I'm going to go with "Hey, idiot," and just assume maybe
Eventually,
was
people
drunk
would be
when the
like, "That's just the guy that
conversation
starts everything with "Hey, idiot."
Yeah. You become just like that, just that guy.
He doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I ended
yeah.
everything with "Ha, kidding," I mean, I'd get beat up everywhere I went.
All right, so the last question, and we started to ask this one often, especially when we have ownership on. If you were the president of USSF, what's the one thing you would change in soccer?
Oh gosh. Really, I mean, I know in our D4 realm, everybody goes automatically to the pro rel thing, but really and truly, I wish U.S. soccer would focus more on the youth side of things and the grassroots side of things in particular, especially being here in Arkansas and kind of the middle America of all the flyover states, and there's just a lot of rural areas that there's so much potential for the sport to grow because you don't need anything. It's not like baseball where you got to have someone else out there with you. All these kids need is just a ball, and they can go out and figure out what to do. And there's just no growth there, at least in our part of the world or the country.
There's no opportunity for that. It's all drills from age 8 on.
Yeah, so that I guess that's what I wish U.S. Soccer would focus more on with the state associations, rather than, at least in Arkansas, our state association is really focused on trying to create leagues and manage leagues and kind of manage clubs and things like that, and being like a governing body, so to speak. I would much rather see them focus on growing the sport in Stuttgart, Arkansas.
You're saying they should just focus on growing play.
Yes. Introduce the sport to areas that it is like non-existent in.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And less focus on creating leagues and going out and playing games. The games will they'll make themselves. Stuttgart, you go there and create a culture and get some kids interested in the sport. Well, yeah, they're going to want to make a team, and yeah, they're going to want to go play people. So they're going to figure that out on their own. That's kind of where I wish U.S. Soccer would focus.
I like that.
I like it too. Well, you made it through. I promise there's no more hard-hitting questions. I'm really looking forward to sharing some beers and some good food in a few months with you during the owners meeting here in Minneapolis. And
I can't wait to get up there.
And I'm also interested in seeing what crazy gadget Dennis Crowley brings this year so that you can charge your cell phone off of it.
Yeah, I mean, that blew my mind. Me from Arkansas, and he stole something off a Subway. Out of a it was not like a Subway restaurant, like a Subway transit place that it's like
charge
a
your cell phone.
Yeah, it's like a charging device that you grab and then you use it until it's empty, and then you turn it back in. And I was like, what the hell? I mean, I'm from a different country, I guess. So.
I had to toss it in because that was one of my favorite moments from New Orleans that I definitely remember.
I'll tell you what, you guys, every listener is going to love that inside joke.
Well, hey, you know what? It's not about them. It's about Jonathan and I. So, anyways, Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Had some fun here tonight, and like I said, really looking forward to connecting up again in a couple months.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me and thinking of including me in your show. I mean, you know, we're doing what we can down here to grow the sport, and you know, by being able and being recognized by you guys, it really you know, it makes it worthwhile.
Hey man, it sounds like you caught lightning in a bottle, so we're happy to talk with you about it.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, have a good night.
Awesome, man. Thanks, dude.
That is all for this week, folks. Again, a big thanks to Jonathan Wardlaw from Little Rock Rangers for joining us. But as always, we want to thank our sponsor, Summit Brewing. It is bonfire season, and if you're like me, you're out back with a fire going any chance you get. And you are in luck, because Summit was thinking of you with their newly released Bonfire Box. The name speaks for itself. It's full of perfect brews that you're going to sip while you stare into the flames, contemplating all the mysteries of the universe. Head to your local...
How to build a soccer team?
How do you build a soccer team and have 3,000 people show up out of nowhere, unplanned?
End the media.
Oh my God. Head to your local liquor store and buy 6 boxes. Summit Brewing, a more meaningful brew since 1986. If giving back to the community means a lot to you, maybe it is time to give to the club that gives back. Minneapolis City is a 501c3 that provides a safe, reliable, and fun environment for young people to play the beautiful game. Look for us playing in parks and community centers all around the city, and consider a tax-deductible donation to a true city-focused organization. Hey, memberships, they're available for 2019, and they are on sale at $60 if you get it, and just for a limited time, and you get a ticket to every home game. You get a fancy new membership scarf, and you get a say in club decisions. Word on the street is, John, in my email inbox, a vote on something big is coming up next week. So grab your membership ASAP if you want in on deciding a little bit of the club's future. Visit mplscitysc.com for more information. If you want to, like Bryn, it's easy to hit us up. You can email us at mcscpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll answer your email question on the air. Or you can tweet at us at The People's Pitch, and we will most likely like your tweet, retweet it, and tweet back at you with some sort of an animated GIF. All questions, comments, and concerns are welcome, and if we remember, we might feature it on the show, like I said. And that is all for this week. Once again, we're going to leave you with our house MC, Miles Stockman-Willis, a.k.a. Malaise. We've got another original track for you called When You Fall. I am Nate. That has been John. And until next time, fam.
You got hooked.
I see the real you, yeah, boo, I found you. So don't ever frown when loneliness is around you. I'ma show you that someone should crown you, not clown you, but pursue virtue would never hurt you. Now critical in distance, touch is digital, biblical. Till death, love is unconditional. Telling us we're a team and not two individuals. For you, I give my spleen, the spiritual and the physical. Loving what is fragile isn't always fixable, but I see what's invisible. See it with vex visuals. Grab my hand, hold it. We gon' think the unthinkable. I promise we will float, that our boat's unsinkable. I promise I'ma drown in you, let you drown in me. Reveal the recipe, you I love to overfeed. I love it. Let's proceed slowly, not go bad like moldy. Ravioli, rigatoni. Girl, I'm free falling for you. Still, temptation follows free. Just tell me when you fall for me, please. Just tell me when you fall. Free, girl, I'm free falling for you. Still, temptation follows free. Just tell me when you fall for me, please. Just tell me when you fall. Temptation's was about to give in, but I'm staying true. If I sin, may I be forgiven for a few. What we got to lose? Nothing. You just gotta listen. Such a good girl. Great. Just made a bad decision. One and done. She looking fine. Nothing missing. But got my hands tied like I'm the villain. Evil only swallows pride, but I'm sometimes kidding. Finger licker kitty after be the kittens. Cute shit. Kiss me softer than a baby's grip. New sense of high when she bites her lower lip. If she quit, make my heart skip, then snip. When we're together like ice cream mixed with some mint. Pepper. Shawty had to rescue my respiratory. Wants a man who's a man, that is mandatory. Only without her off the pad, like I never met with Dory. Help her write her story, take the qualms on her quarry. Girl, I'm free falling for you. Still, temptation follows free. Just tell me when you fall for me, please. Just tell me when you fall. Girl, I'm free falling for you. Still, temptation follows free. Just tell me when you fall for me, please. Just tell me when you fall. Selfie timeless as the rollie. Always be my plus one. Shawty is my bogey. In it for the long haul, not for the trophy. Every day, feeling greater than Tony. Falling for her, and I think she falling for me too. I hope falling like two V's, make a W. Type of dude to build you up and make the rubble move. Type of dude to have my phone out all in front of you. Only cause you got my back. Presence always sets the mood. Never starts any trouble without any proof. No problems if there was, make the puzzle poof. Laugh it off. Goofballs, you should see the spoof. Girl, I'm free falling for you. Still, temptation follows free. Just tell me when you fall for me, please. Just tell me when you fall. Girl, I'm free falling for you. Still, temptation follows free. Just tell me when you fall for me, please. Just tell me when you fall.